Hi everybody, welcome again to the second part series on discipline. For those who are seeing this video for the first time, my name is Chiedza Nyamfukuta. I'm a social worker and I'm also an aspiring parenting coach. I'll start off by discussing what the purpose of disciplining is. So disciplining is to prepare the child for life. It is not just about the 5 minutes or the temporary time that you're with the child to get compliance. Is so that wherever they go in life, they are prepared. They know what's appropriate and what's inappropriate. The purpose of discipline is not just to assert control or to punish. It's also to teach the child what is right from wrong. So when you're disciplining a child, you are helping them develop a moral compass that is internal, that is not based on fear, but it's based on a child knowing that this is not how I'm supposed to behave because it affects other people in this way, it would affect me in this way. So the goal to discipline is to teach the child self-control other than actually controlling them. Because when you discipline a child in a way that controls them, as soon as you let go of that control, or you no longer have that control or that influence, the child has not internalized what is acceptable and what's not acceptable. This is when you come across a child who was well behaved when they were under the leadership of their parents or when they were really young, and then when they are older, the parents don't have any control over them. You're actually shocked to say, how come they seem like a very obedient, submissive child? It's because the methods that were being used were not developing an internal moral compass. It was just to control the behavior for those 5 minutes. So just based on my observations within African households, I've often questioned whether a lot of parents actually understand what disciplining is. Because I think what I've observed is that a lot of parents view it as a way to show the child that I'm the boss, I'm in control. And yet that is not the purpose of disciplining. I've also seen that a lot of parents, when they are upset, they release their frustration by disciplining a child. So they're feeling upset, they find a lesser powerful individual or a lesser powerful being, and they let out their frustration on that child. A lot of parents use disciplining as an outlet for their own anger and their own frustration. I've also come across specific parents who say you need to break the child's spirit when you're disciplining them. They need to learn how to submit to you. They need to learn how to submit to your authority. And I think this is a very terrible way to view discipline. It shouldn't be to break or to make the child submit to your authority. I also think it shouldn't be about making the child fear you. It should be about the child respecting you. There is a difference between you being scared of someone and you respecting that person. It's like a partner who treats you with respect, a partner who talks to you in an equitable way, a partner who respects you. The likelihood is that you're going to respect them. But a partner who hits you, a partner who shouts at you, a partner who yells at you, you are actually going to be scared of them. That is the same psychology behind how we parent our children. I don't know why people think that when it comes to children it's different. It's just that they are younger, they're less powerful, but the psychology is the same. I think violent discipline is just emotional and physical harm masked as teaching. I think if it's not okay to hit your partner, it shouldn't be okay to hit your child. If it's not okay to yell at your partner, if it's not okay to shout at your partner, it shouldn't be okay to yell and shout at your child. Because what you're doing is you're programming your child. How we raise those children, that's what they become. What is discipline? What is it? It is consistent routines and clear limits, and they also have to be age appropriate. I think it's also important to know that our expectations of a specific age should differ. Children's brains are not fully developed at specific ages, so our expectations have to be reasonable. Children who are 2 to 3 years of age will display tantrums, and this is something that should be accepted. I know probably not every child will display a tantrum, and when they do display a tantrum, I think our expectations of the child should be reasonable. They don't know how to communicate. Some of them don't even have the language to tell you how they are feeling, if they're feeling tired. You understand the brain development. You understand that it is not easy for a child to regulate their emotions at that age. Discipline is also about empathy and structure. So you're being firm, but you're also being kind to the child. If a child tells you they don't want to go to school, the appropriate way to address that would be to understand why they don't want to go to school. Maybe there is a valid reason. Maybe they are being bullied at school, and if maybe they're just scared. And if they're scared, validating that child's emotions and actually telling them that feeling scared is a normal emotion. In life, they will go through scary moments, but that doesn't mean that they should give up. You're building resilience within that child. So it isn't about forcing that child, shouting at that child and saying, if you don't do as I say, I'm going to spank you, I'm going to hit you. It's validating that child and at the same time also being firm. The last part of this video will discuss about the harmful methods of disciplining. I'll start off with shouting. The same effect that shouting would have on us adults from anybody is the same effect it has on the child. It erodes your self-worth. It is a form of dehumanizing a child, because when you respect someone, you treat them as an equal, you talk to them in a respectful way. So when you shout at your child, you are using fearful based methods of communication. Another harmful method of parenting is beating and spanking. I've had parents who say, well, when I spank my child, they will stop what they are doing. Yeah, it is a short-term way of controlling a behavior. But you know what spanking actually does? It just teaches the child fear. They don't understand. There is no logical way there for them to understand why they are being told not to behave in a certain way. When you're spanking, you're just teaching them that if they do something, they are going to experience some sort of physical pain. And the effect of that is that they stop the behavior, not based on them understanding why the behavior should not be done in the first place, but they are stopping it because they are scared of the pain that they are feeling. Another harmful method of parenting I want to talk about is silent treatment or withdrawal of love. I think silent treatment or withdrawal of love just teaches the child that I only love you if you behave in a certain way. It actually communicates to the child that the love you're showing to the child is a conditional kind of love. In my opinion, when you withdraw love or when you give silent treatment to your child, it's actually a harmful way to parent. Another harmful method of parenting is public shaming. The effect of public shaming is that somebody just internalizes the shame. It actually doesn't teach them self-reflection. It's just as, if you think of an example where someone takes you on the side and tells you, oh, do you realize you've hurt me in this way? You've done this in this specific way. I think it's a better approach other than you shaming your child publicly. Taking your child on the side and actually talking to them in a respectful way is a better method other than you dressing them down in front of everyone. All you're doing is you're embarrassing them in front of everybody, and they are just internalizing that shame, and it's eroding their self-worth, their confidence, and you're just coming off as a dominant person, and it is a dominant way to parent. I think a little bit of kindness, a little bit of empathy in whatever method you use can also be quite helpful in how you parent the child. The principle that I actually go by, one of my friends shared this saying with me, which I have taken to be my own, and it says that what is done in love is done well. If you cannot accept your manager dressing you down in front of other people, why do you then go ahead and do it to your own child? And what is done in love, what is done in respect, is done well. I think a good way to measure how best to discipline a child is to think to yourself, how would I have wanted to be treated if I was in the same position with my manager, with my boss? I think it's quite an easy way to gauge how to discipline your own children. Thank you for watching. I'll meet you again in my third and final series where I discuss alternatives to yelling, spanking, and shouting